Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh yeah. And another one. And another one. Oh, look at that. Another one. Oh, I can't even hang on to this stuff. Oh, loving it. Okay, everybody, please forgive the rather out of control mess on the bench here. We're kind of in progress at this point, but I wanted to show you guys the new old stock lifters showed up today. And oh man, let me tell you, I get the chills every time I get these old parts. And I mean, look at this. You can see something has been brushed, hand brushed all over this box, and I swear it's Cosmoline. Seriously, it's got the stick, it's got the feel. They even put Cosmoline on the cardboard box. Oh, I just love it. You probably can't tell, but I'm smiling right now. Not even afraid to admit it. But, oh, the only way I can state it is, I mean, I just love this stuff, especially this old stuff. The best way I can put it, and it's not even going to sound right, but I belong when this came from. I mean, I'll say it again. I belong when this came from. I just, after work today, oh my God, I needed this. I had a guy that was mad at his car because when he talked to it, it didn't talk back. So this is a pretty welcome surprise right here. I got home, found the package on the steps. So, man, now I don't even want to open these things. I should have bought a second set just to put on a shelf. This is just genuine cat parts. This is awesome. Well, I'm over it. Let's open them up. All right, I'll start with opening this one. It looks like it's been taped up once before. You can see on this back side, that's Cosmoline. It's way too thick to be anything else. Yep. So we'll just carefully cut this open and see. Yep, we won't have to destroy anything to see what's inside. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, 2855778 lifter assembly. One each Caterpillar. Method 1A-2 preservation. Do not open until ready for use. Preserved and packed November 1953. Are you kidding me? 1953. Oh, this is just a treasure. Well, do not open until ready for use. We followed that rule. Okay. We've got a block. See what's inside. Okay. Some of that heavy tape. This is better than Christmas, I swear. Jeez. Oh, look at that. The Cosmoline still rubs off. What do we have here? I think this is the same thing. Yep, same tag. Preserved and packed November 1953. Just perfect. I mean, that's just perfection right there. Brand new. Speechless. To think that over 6.5 decades ago, somebody wrapped these so carefully, preserved them. I mean, the Cosmoline looks like it was put on yesterday. Amazing. They were just patiently waiting for this long. Yeah, in a way, these are just kind of a miniature time capsule in a small roundabout way, you know. There's number 4. Let's see what this one is. Yep, they're all November 53. All packaged at the same time. Wow. This is just so cool, guys. I just love this stuff. So, we have our new lifters for the injection pump. That's good. That means we can proceed. So, on the progress front, unfortunately, there isn't going to be any assembly tonight. I'm kind of in the middle of cleaning everything right here. So, I did want to take a couple minutes to address a couple of interesting comments that I got under the last video. At the time of this recording, I haven't went back and answered any yet, but I want to touch upon them, a couple of them anyway right now, because it's probably the best time to do so. BC Block 02 says, the lifters are flat on the sides, but the bores look round. Would like a better look at that to see how they machined that for the flats to work. Yes, sir. The lifters do have flats on the sides, and I mentioned in the prior video that they do hold themselves from turning, and yes, the bores are round when you look in here at a glance, but the way they are held has to do with what these two insert looking things are in there for. And it turns out, if we can get in here well enough for a look, those inserts have two flat sides on them. You can see the screwdriver's up against one right there. The other one extends into the lower bore, and then the second one, of course, is down here in between those two bores. And those are what the flat sides of the lifters come up against so that they cannot pivot down in those round bores right there. I wasn't too clear on that whole design when I took these apart, but that's how they work. The other comment I want to touch upon is from Zorba, the Veiled Male. He asks, so how does the hour meter work? I don't see how the drive for it is constant speed. It's not constant speed. And that question actually leads me into the answer to another question that I saw pop up a lot under the last video. So the hour meter with its little bronze gear on the end is driven off of the worm gear that is milled into the center of the injection pump camshaft. That is what basically turns the geared mechanism inside here that manipulates the dials. And it is not an absolute clock. Technically, the CAT manual refers to this as the service meter. I will explain in just a minute what that means. But it is true that at lower engine RPMs, that meter is going to count off hours slower than it will at higher engine RPM. So, the official description from the Operation and Maintenance Instructions Manual for Caterpillar D2 tractor is as follows. Service meter. The service meter is located on the left side of the engine near the bottom of the fuel pump housing. It is geared to the engine, and when the crankshaft turns as many revolutions as are made in an hour at normal operating speed, the dial advances one number. There are many applications that will result in a lower than normal average engine speed. Under this condition, the advance in the service meter reading will be less than the number of clock hours of operation. So, the purpose of the service meter is to indicate when to perform the recommended maintenance and lubrication operations. The established intervals in the lubrication chart and maintenance instructions are given in service hours, so daily readings will tell when to service the tractor. Rely on the service meter and not on the clock to measure service intervals. So, there you have it. It was kind of I'd say one of the first service meters that, Caterpillar really ever used. Of course, there were a couple models prior to this that had them, but this was back in the day before. This was really intended to be like an accurate operating hours clock reading. It was just there to give the operators a better guess or a better indicator at when they need to perform all the necessary maintenance for the tractor. So that's pretty much the breakdown on the hour meter. It's not, it's not a clock, even though we think of them now as being clocks, and they are. Back then, it kind of wasn't. So that leads me to the other answer, which the question came up a lot of times in the comment section, wondering if I'm going to re-zero or like zero out, reset the hour meter when I go through it. And yeah, I'm going to go through it. I'll have a whole video on how to take one of those apart, and if they don't work, how to fix it, whatever. Personally, I do reset these Caterpillar hour meters every time I've thoroughly went through a machine from one end to another. And in 1113's case, it's pretty much beginning a second chapter in its life, or maybe a third or a fourth, depending on how many times it's been rebuilt in the past. I don't know, but it's getting such an extensive rebuild. I mean, a different engine block is going to have a different head. It's going to have a different starting engine block just due to all the freezing and cracking and water damage that was going on. There's going to be quite a few other pieces, I think, in the back end. They're going to need some help too. So it doesn't bother me a bit to re-zero out that hour meter, because basically it's not the same machine that it was before. So I'll document the amount of hours that it showed on the dials before I reset it. But yeah, this one's it's likely going to be reset back to zero. That's one thing I do like to do. So that's going to about wrap things up for this video here. We've got our shiny new old stock parts, and like I said, I got a little bit of cleaning left to do here. Need to pop out a few gaskets, and a couple more pieces do need a minor reconditioning before we start any reassembly. But hope you guys liked the video. Stay tuned. Injection pump assembly is coming up next.